I declare war. So I see quite a few people were in the chat room waiting for me. I'm sorry, I didn't expect anybody to even show up. I was just going to come in and head out, just share my thoughts for a few minutes about this whole Christelyn Karazin situation. So I'm going to go through the comments real quick before I continue on. I know only a few people are here now, but I want to respond to some of the things that people had to say. I didn't even know people were waiting around. Shout out to H. McDaniels. Shout out to Master Shock Value. Shout out to Kendra. Shout out to BPP. Uh, Shout out to you. So let me just go through your comments before I get into my commentary real quick. McDaniel said that she can't wait to find out what happened. Seems to be a very good ending to an otherwise boring weekend. Oh, I'm sorry. I see Kendra said, come on, MP. It's near my bedtime. Man, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't even know people were bothering to tune in. I didn't even know people pay attention to this channel like that anymore. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man. I see McDaniels is back. Shout out to Simply Deep. Shout out to Doug and Water Sniper. Yeah, man. So last night, I think it was last night, I was watching a video that Nelly B did, and she was talking about Christelyn Karazin leaving YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And the first thing I thought about was like, that song in The Wizard of Oz where like shortly after the witch dies and the little people are like, ding dong, the witch is dead. And they're celebrating and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of how I felt. Or like in The Wiz, in The Wiz, where they had a scene and the witch dies and they're like, it's a brand new day, and they start dancing and everything. That's how I felt when I heard the news that Christelyn Karazin was off YouTube. And I don't know the backstory. I don't know what's going on. Like, if anybody knows, like, why she decided to get off YouTube, please let me know. Shout out to Elaine Lloyd. So do y'all know, does anybody in the comment section know why she decided to get off of YouTube? And I did hear, like, when I first heard this news, I said, let me just do a search on Christelyn Karazin to see what's popping, what the big deal is with this. And I see that apparently she had a conflict with this other swirler, unsuccessful stay-at-home coon. Apparently they had some issues going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you would think that since they're both a part of Swirl Nation and whatnot, you would think that they would be united in their pursuit and their worship of the white man. But apparently they're going at it. Apparently they have some conflict. And I was listening to, Unsuccessful's live stream, and she was talking about like how she thinks Christelyn Karazin was trying to undermine her channel and, flag her channel and all that kind of stuff. And really the talk sound crazy to me. It sounded like crazy talk. Because, like, why would Christelyn Karazin be trying to take down this little YouTuber who's not even on her level? You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't even add up to me. So I don't know if that's what it has to do with. And then I was listening to this other YouTube channel where somebody was talking about, like, how this guy had posted pictures of Christelyn Karazin's kids online, and that created some issues. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why her channel is down. If people know, please let me know. Oh, I see that Doug said her daughter was doxxed. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't condone any of that kind of stuff. I don't condone people doxing people's kids. It's not that serious. I don't understand why people even do that kind of stuff. I think that kind of stuff is juvenile and it's wrong. I just think that it's straight up wrong to dox people to get documents from somebody. I mean, why not just address the arguments that people are making? You know, if you have a problem with the individual, fine, but you don't have to bring their families into it. And that's the sick thing about YouTube, man. That's, you know, the thing that's very disturbing about it, how you have some people that are so demented that they're not satisfied just going at the source of the problem. They want to touch your family. They want to dox you and bring up all this personal information, and even go beyond that to attack your loved ones and stuff like that. I think that's sick. You know, no matter how much I disagree with that woman or how much I disagree with any YouTuber, I don't think it's ever appropriate to dox somebody. I mean, why not just address the arguments that the person is presenting, address the viewpoints? It's out of hand when people start to dox people. It's out of hand when people start to try to expose people and all that kind of stuff. I think that's inappropriate. And that's the why one of the reasons why I'm kind of standoffish. Like I really don't talk too much about my personal life here on YouTube. I don't share like family photos and all that kind of stuff, or have my family members on here like that. You know, my children or anything like that. I don't do stuff like that because you can't trust these people, and that's sick if that happened. You know, no matter how much I disagree with that woman, you know, I don't think that anybody should be doxxed, and that's a shame if that happened, if that's what really happened. Um, so let me just go through some of these comments real quick. But yeah, I mean, I think that's wrong. But I just want to say this, you know, I am glad to see her go. But you know, I'm not going to celebrate long because I know that more likely than not she'll be back here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't some kind of publicity stunt to get all this buzz, you know, get a lot of people talking about her and stuff like that. So to a degree, if that's her goal, it's working because you got all these people talking about her, and now I'm talking about her. So it's giving her more attention. And, you know, I'm sure that she's going to come back. I mean, you have all these people that get on here and talk about they're leaving YouTube and they're tired of YouTube. And then you give them a week or two and they're back here. They're back on YouTube. You know, they say, well, I'm shutting down my channel and blah, blah, blah. Just like you had all these people crying about YouTube's demonetization policy and stuff like that. All these people talking about they're exclusively on Patreon and blah, blah, blah. But here they come. All of them. All of them are back on YouTube. So I don't have it. I would not be surprised if this woman would not be back on YouTube in a couple of days. You know, I just think that a lot of times people do this for ego. You have these people, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if some people don't deliberately shut down their channels and then pretend like, you know, they got flagged and this and that, you know, so that they can have all these people crying and saying, well, please, you know, support this guy, support their channel and this and that. You know, so I think a lot of this is fake hype. But I'm going to tell y'all like my problem and my issue with Christelyn Karazin, and I'm going to go into your comments in a second. Um, you know, and why I'm glad to see her go. You know, I'm glad to see her go for a couple of reasons. You know, number one, let me just be perfectly clear. You know, a lot of times, like she presents this false narrative that she's all about opening people's options and all that kind of stuff, giving them a chance to explore options and date other people of different races and stuff like that, and just look for the right person with the right personality, the right values, somebody that can provide and protect and all that kind of stuff and produce and all that kind of stuff. She presents it like that's her whole issue. It's not about race. It's beyond black and white and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all about black and white. At the end of the day, she's another example of one of these black women who idolize this white man, who view the white man as some kind of knight in shining armor here to rescue the black woman from the black man. You know, that's how she presents it. And, you know, anyone that tries to avoid that core point, all you have to do is look at her content. Who are the majority of the men featured on her program? White men. You know, who are the men that this woman meets up with to talk about these dating issues? White men. You know, every now and then she'll toss in a Hispanic here or, you know, an Asian there. But at the end of the day, it's all about the white man. You know, I have never seen this woman with a black couple on her show. And I haven't watched her show in about a year or so because it's so annoying, man. So that's one thing, this idealization of the white man. It's one thing to say, well, people should explore their options and this and that. It's quite another thing for someone to idolize this damn white man, put him on a pedestal, while at the same time you denigrate and disrespect the black man. And these same people had a nerve to complain about these misogynists when in fact, these women have, some of them have flipped the situation and basically have become men bashers. They bash black men and they celebrate the white man. And I have an issue with that. I have an issue with somebody selling pipe dreams, selling this idea that this white man is some kind of savior for these black women. When the fact of the matter is, most white men are not pursuing black women like that. Most white men are trying to be with white women. There are studies that have been done with these online dating sites that prove this point, but yet you got these people selling black women pipe dreams. And so that's my issue with her, man. And that's why, I'm glad to see her go, because her channel, has become like a haven for hatred against black men. I mean, she provides a forum for these people like Brooklyn Blue and these other male bashing, bitter black women, and, I just think that that's sickening, man. So I'm glad to see her go, but it's no cause for celebration, because all you're going to have are these other thirsty, bitter black women trying to replace that woman. You got the unsuccessful single stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home belly warmer and stay-at-home coon. She's trying to fill her spot now, so you got so many others trying to fill that vacuum, so even though she's gone, there are going to be plenty of others there trying to fill that space and, breathe this hatred against the black man. That's my problem. It's one thing for somebody to say, well, I'm dating, I'm exploring these options. It's quite another thing to bash black men and hate on black men and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not feeling that. And I'm glad to see this woman gone. And the thing that's so odd about these swirlers, I mean, it's a couple of things. Number one, like, they hate the black man so much and they claim to have moved on, but yet they can't stop talking about the black man. Why is that? That doesn't add up. If you're done with the black man, if you're through with the black man, then you don't need to be talking about the black man. You shouldn't be concerned about this black male celebrity and that black male celebrity and their dating choices if you have moved on and you're beyond black and white and all that kind of stuff. But they can't stop it. They can't stop talking about the black man. And then, another thing that's just surprising is just like the conflict among these swirlers. You would think that since they agree on philosophy, since they both idolize this white man and are thirsty for this white man and hate the black man so much, you would think that they would have some kind of commonality. You would think that they would have something to unite around. But yet you see example after example of these swirlers fighting each other, man. And that tells you there's something wrong with these people, man. It tells you that there's something dysfunctional about these people. So yeah, this is not going to be a long hangout, man. I want to thank y'all for hanging in here. Some people were waiting around for me to join. But yeah, I want to hear what y'all think about this, man. What do y'all think about Christelyn Karazin and why she decided to leave? And what do you think about her channel? And what she represents and these other people that want to follow in her footsteps. Yeah, so those are my thoughts about this whole thing. I'm gonna look through your comments real quick before I sign out. And just thinking about me, it would take a lot for me to decide, well, I'm just gonna leave YouTube. It would have to be a situation where my safety was in jeopardy or something was, my family had been drugged into something and people were after my family or something like that and put out my family information. Yeah, it would have to take something major like that for me to leave. I'm not going anywhere, despite YouTube and all they're trying to, all these little changes that they're making to undermine Black YouTube and just YouTube in general by demonetizing stuff and changing all these different rules. I'm still staying here. You know, I was never in it for the money or anything like that. I'm in it because I believe in the things that I espouse on here. And you know, one thing that I want to talk about real quick is just like, you know, the double standards, man. You know, like I can't just sit around like condemning black men who bash black women without condemning some of these black women who enjoy bashing black men at every opportunity they get. You know, you have some of these women like unsuccessful stay-at-home coon who get on here and just put all their energy into trying to paint the black man as a criminal, as a you know, as no good, as the worst thing ever, as the devil and stuff like that. And you know, enough is enough, man. You know, I'm not gonna sit on the sidelines and be quiet while that kind of stuff happens, man. But yeah, you know, I don't want to keep y'all too long tonight. Yeah, I know some people were waiting around at 10 o'clock. Sorry again, y'all. I didn't even know people were waiting around like that. Um, so let me go through your comments before I head out. Shout out to Hollow Ninja 10. Um, Shout out to Angeline R. Again, shout out to Doug. Shout out to Simply Deep. And I see Cadillac Gaddafi is here. He said, no shout out to me because I'm a coon. Yeah, if you're the same person that I remember, you know, one of these Tommy Dick Riders, you know, basically I mean, just to be blunt, man, you know, one of these Tommy groupies and stuff like that. You know, this guy talks about his white queen and stuff like that. Let me ask you something. I mean, if you're the same person, let me ask you this. Why do you even care about Christelyn Karazin, man? I mean, you getting your swirl on, so what difference does it make to you? Like, why are you even interested in this topic? Yeah, shout out to Water Sniper. Yeah, so that's messed up. Shout out to Lord Praise the. Shout out to you. Yeah, that's crazy that they would dox her daughter though, man. That's sick. See, that's why I don't even put my family out here like that, man. Because we go after my family, man. Forget this YouTube stuff. It's about to get extra real out here if somebody goes after my family. Um, so Water Sniper said, I don't know if you're joking or not, but you said she charged $200 for her pink pill package, um, and I think she made over 40K. And Water Sniper said that some dude took her daughter's picture and used it, and she called the dude's job and supposedly was making threats. Wow. Yeah, I think I heard something about that. Like I was just listening to one of these other YouTubers talk about this whole situation. Man, that's crazy. It's crazy that it's like that, man. And you know, the thing is, like, that's not the first time that she calls. I mean, if that's true, if she called his job or whatever and made some threats or whatever, that's not the first time that she did it. Because apparently she got that guy Veganators fired from his job, according to what Veganator was saying. And who cares if he lost his job? You know, I don't care if he lost his job or anything like that. But you know, just overall, I don't think people should be playing with folks' jobs and all that kind of stuff, their livelihood. Because when you play with somebody's job, when you play with somebody's money, you're playing with their lives, and it can get real serious at that point, man. Yeah, it's just crazy how people take this online stuff into the real world and start going after people's livelihood and family and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy. Elaine Lloyd said the fight for who loves white men more is real. Yeah, you're right, man. That's what it comes down to. They're fighting, some of these women, they're fighting to see who really loves that white man the most. I mean, and you would think that somebody, like that unsuccessful stay-at-home coon, you would think that she would be talking about white men more since she loves the white man so much. You would think she would be talking about all these white male celebrities, but instead she's talking about all these black male celebrities. How does that add up, man? How does that make any kind of sense? And then you have, and I don't think she's going to be able to fill that void of, that Christelyn Karazin is going to leave behind. There are two different types of channels. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that much further. Doug said, I bet her husband made her shut it down. And yeah, according to all these reports that I saw on YouTube, they were saying like, that she had been saying if her husband knows what's going on YouTube, he would have shut it down a long time ago. All I can do is shake my head, man. First of all, if I was her husband, there's no way in hell she'll be running around the country meeting up with all these other random white guys talking about relationships, all hugged up with them and whatnot, man. And that's one thing that makes you question, like, how strong her marriage could be. Like, if she's running around town flirting with all these white guys, these other white guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, hugged up with them and this and that. Man, it's something else, man. And then she's going through all this drama. That Veganator thing a couple of years ago, that was hilarious. Where she basically brought this, where she brought this white guy on there to basically explain why he's not interested in these swirlers and stuff like that. And then she started crying. She started crying because this dude was no longer interested in, he was not interested in swirling, basically. And because he basically used her to further bash black women, man. And then you actually had some people defending this woman, some black people defending this woman during that situation, man. All I could do is shake my head at that. But yeah, you're probably right, Doug. Maybe her husband did tell her to get off of YouTube, man. And then H. McDaniel said, you're probably right. It's a ploy to make herself relevant. Yeah, somehow she manages to have people talking about her. And I guess I'm like feeding into it by, doing this video. But yeah, this whole thing happened like with the Veganator thing where everybody's talking about her. It happened shortly after that, the shooting in Charleston, where you had Dylan Roof go into that church and kill all those people. People were talking about her then because of her ridiculous comments back then. Yeah, so it may just be a ploy. So that would not surprise me. And I think that a lot of these people, their ego will not allow them to leave YouTube. They love it. They love, the positive reinforcement and this and that. So I would not be surprised if she'll be back. Not surprised at all. Shout out to Ghost Rider. Shout out to Covina Man. Covina Man said she's bipolar. She'll likely change her mind and get back to supporting white supremacy. Yeah, you're probably right, man. And one thing video that really stands out, like, I'm just gonna go through a couple of moments that really stand out with me and, Christelyn Karazin, like what I think about her, some examples to bring home the point. Like, she had this video where she was talking about how African women are winning at swirling. you know, because she was talking about like how in Africa you have a lot of African women who are dating these Chinese men. And as you know, the Chinese are going into Africa, basically exploiting the resources of the continent and stuff like that. And, you know, some of them are marrying the women there and stuff like that. And she sees that as winning. She sees it as winning to have some colonizers go into the continent of Africa and marginalize the African man and, you know, take the African women and all that stuff. That's her concept of winning. When these Chinese people have no respect for Africans and African people and their resources, they're just raping Africa just like the white man did. But this is winning in her mind. And then, you know, I posted some story about what's happening in Uganda, where you have these Chinese men basically knocking up all these women and not marrying these women and leaving these women. You know, they're going back home to China while these women are stuck taking care of children alone. But this is her idea of winning and stuff like that. You know, I don't see any videos criticizing those Chinese men for abandoning the women. And then also, like shortly, like during the celebration of the Chinese New Year, you had this group of Chinese people put on a minstrel show where you had this Chinese woman in blackface in 2018 in blackface, making a complete fool out of African people. You know, while they were boasting about all this good that they're doing for African people, you had this Chinese woman in blackface making a fool out of black people. She had some costume on, which had her with a big behind, you know, looking like a stereotypical African, and she had a pet monkey and all that kind of stuff. But these are the people that Christelyn Karazin is happy to see African women with. These are the people that mock African culture, mock African people, have no respect for African people. But Christelyn Karazin thinks that's winning. So I got issues with that, man. I got issues with somebody saying that the black man is the losing team. That's what this woman said. She said that black men are awful and disgusting around that time when that whole veganator thing took off. And then she hosts these people like Brooklyn Blue that hate black men, you know, and these others, black women going their own way, these other bitter black women. So I don't have much respect for this woman. And I'm glad to see her go. You know, I would, you know, break out and dance, song and dance. But, you know, I really think the celebration is going to be premature because more likely than not, she'll be back on here. But yeah, I don't want to keep y'all too long, man. Shout out to all the people that was waiting around. I'm sorry about that. You know, life goes on. But I want to thank y'all for your support. You know, I appreciate you all tuning in. And I plan, hopefully, my live streams will be back up on my New Possibilities channel. It's probably going to be next month, you know, because they took it down for some foolishness. But anyway, shout out to y'all. Thanks for tuning in. For those people that listen to the playback, tell me what y'all think in the comment section. So peace to each and every one of you, and good night.